Have you ever thought about what literacy really means today? Most people think of reading and writing, but it goes far beyond that. Literacy now includes visual, oral, gestural, spatial, and digital communication. Hi, my name is Akshata Karki, and today I will be discussing about how we understand pedagogies for multiliteracy learning in early childhood education. As early childhood teachers, our role is to provide children with diverse experiences that help them grow into confident and capable multiliterate learners. For this, I have chosen two peer reviewed articles because they show both the challenges and opportunities of using digital tools in literacy learning. The first is by Guy Merchant, published in 2015, who explored how very young children interact with iPads and story apps. The second is by Lisa Kerwin in 2016, who examined how digital play like apps like Minecraft and Puppet Ball support literacy development. I choose them because they are foundational and still influential in shaping how digital literacies are understood in early childhood education. Together, they highlight two sides of the same coin: the risks of poorly mediated technology and the creative potential of play-based digital engagement. Let's begin with the first study conducted by Guy Merchant in 2015. Guy Merchant in 2015 study observed toddlers as young as 14 months using iPad and digital story apps. One important finding was the idea of operational demands. Children had to learn new gestures like tapping, sweeping, and pointing. These weren't natural skills, and Merchant showed that scaffolding was needed for children to develop them. Merchant also found that many read-to-me apps adults shifted from being co-narrators of stories to acting more like technical helpers. This reduced the richness of conversations. So, educators must make ensure meaningful dialogue continues during digital play. Research by Flewitt et al. In 2015 supports this, showing that iPads to new open technologies opportunities, but adults' involvement is critical for scaffolding children's understanding, guiding meaningful interaction with apps, and extending language through discussion. Another issue was app design. Merchant explained that many story apps were poorly designed. Some required fine motor skills beyond toddler abilities, while others relied too heavily on drill and practice rather than authentic storytelling. Newman 2018 reinforced this by showing that app only enhance early literacy when thoughtfully integrated into teaching. This connects directly to the role of educators because it shows that simply having technology is not enough. What matters is how it is being used. Another issue was equity. Children with iPads at home were more confident while others hesitated. This means educators must provide equal opportunities so that all the children can practice and develop digital literacies. Although Merchant studies focused on early generation app and had a small sample, the main point remains clear. Digital tools need strong pedagogical mediation. This aligns with Vygotsky theory of zone of proximal development, whereas Prodorva and Leong 2020 explained adult scaffolding helps children achieve more than they could alone. This idea also connects with EVALF Outcome 5, which identifies children are effective communicators, and with the Australian curriculum literacy capability, which highlights the importance of engaging with both print and digital text. While Merchant emphasizes challenges, Kerwin focused on benefits of digital play. She found that apps like Minecraft, Puppet Balls, and iMovie gave children chances to create stories, collaborate, and express themselves in multiple modes. This broadened the definition of literacy to multimodal meaning making. In one example from her study, a child who played pocket pond on an iPad later built a real pond in the garden. This shows how digital and physical play are interconnected. Marsh et al. 2016 confirmed this finding, showing that digital play can support collaboration, problem solving, and creativity. Kevin also highlighted how apps like Puppet Ball enable children to construct narratives by blending oral storytelling with visual and digital elements. This supported creativity, language, and cultural expression. At the same time, she warned against overusing drill-based apps. Edwards et al. 2016 agreed, stressing that digital play should nurture imagination and cultural learning rather than limit children to repetitive skills. This reinforces Merchant's concern about poorly designed apps, but from a different perspective. While Merchant highlighted the risks, Kerwin and Edwards showed how thoughtfully digital play can expand children's creativity. Importantly, Kerwin emphasizes the role of the teacher, observing that educators must carefully select apps and create contexts that encourage playful, creative engagement. The goal is for children to be active creators, not passive users. Her study also connects back to Vygotsky's idea of play as a leading activity in childhood, brought by TAL highlighted in 2019. They also reflects the EVALF principle on play-based learning, and Sakar ETAL 2018 showed that playful digital technologies can enrich children's agencies and guide it intentionally. Taken together, Merchant and Kevin provide two different but complementary insights. Merchant cautions of about equity gaps, operational demands, and poor app design, while Kerwin highlighted the creative, collaborative potential of digital play. Both studies remind us that technology is not inherently good or bad. Its values depends on how educators use it. Merchant's findings connect closely to Vygotsky's zone of proximal development as well as Brunner's idea of scaffolding. First, outlined by Wood et al. In 1976. Both highlight how adult guidance can gradually be withdrawn as children gain confidence. Kerwin's findings, meanwhile, highlight the importance of play, which links directly to the EYLF emphasis on play-based learning, and the Australian curriculum literacy capability, which forces and focuses on meaning making across both print and digital forms. In short, Merchant highlights the risks when scaffolding is absent, whereas Kerwin emphasizes the risk potential of prioritizing play and creativity. Taken together, this perspective shows that it is not the technology itself but the way educators use it that determines its value of literacy learning. So, what does this mean for educators in practice? Three things stand out. 1. Select app wisely. Choose open-ended tools like Puppet Polls and Book Creator instead of drill and practice app. 2. Scaffold digital play. Support children as they learn digital gestures while also keeping conversation meaningful. For example, during Minecraft play, an educators might ask children to describe what they are building, which scaffolds both language and collaboration. 3. Equalize access. Provide opportunities for children without home technology to develop digital confidence. For example, pairing a digital child with a less experienced child. According to ASEQUA, these practices align with National Quality Standard Quality Area 1, which outlines intentional teaching strategies that support children's learning across diverse learners. To conclude, technology is reshaping how literacy is understood and practiced in early childhood education. Merchant research reminds of challenges, scaffolding needs, poorly designed apps, and equity gaps. Meanwhile, Kerwin Box highlights the creative potential where children collaborate, construct narratives, and express themselves in multiple modes. Together, this study shows that technology is not pedagogy in itself. Its value depends on how we, as educators, embed it intentionally within play-based meaningful learning context. As educators, our role is to balance scaffolding children when and where needed, while also giving them the freedom to explore, imagine, and connect digital and physical experiences. By doing this, we prepare children to be confident and capable communicators in the 21st century while keeping our pedagogy intentional, inclusive, and future-focused. At last but not the least, I want to share and reflect on how this links to my own experience and to different children's needs. In my placement, I saw some children happily drawing, storytelling, and playing with magnetic tiles where others needed more guidance. That reminded me of Merchant's points about scaffolding and how important pedagogy is in supporting children's confidence. But I also know that for some children like those on the autism spectrum disorder, digital tools can be really powerful support. For example, visual apps or communication programs can help them express themselves, join in with the peers, or reduce anxiety in many ways that traditional play might not always allow. Kevin focus on creativity reminds me that technology can give these children another pathway into multiliteracy. So for me, the reflection is this: technology on its own isn't the answer, but the right pedagogy, it can open the door, especially for children who need extra support. Our role is to scaffold, guide, and design inclusive opportunities so that all children, no matter their background and needs, can grow as confident, multiliterate communicators and learners. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Have a nice day.